Hi, my name is Peter Hughes from Integralis. We're a global security systems integrator and partner of RSA Security, and I'm going to present a brief introduction to the RSA security solution entitled How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love DLP. Ever since the dawn of time in IT security, which was about 40 years ago, the main goal has been to prevent the loss of data. However, DLP as an acronym and a technology is a fairly recent invention and one that really strikes fear into the hearts of IT security professionals. Now, Integralis as an organisation has been designing and deploying IT security solutions for our clients for over 20 years. And most mature organisations have an environment something like this. They'll have their firewall, they'll have some form of email content scanning either on a DMZ or out in the cloud. They'll have some web content security, a proxy server. They'll have a remote access solution and no doubt have some strong authentication, probably provided by RSA Security. And more than likely, they'll have some IPS solution in place, monitoring their internal network and their DMZ. Obviously, on their users' workstations, they'll have some antivirus, and on laptops, they'll probably have some hard disk encryption software. But none of this security that we've put in place goes any way towards stopping the malicious or the plain stupid user copying some sensitive data onto a USB stick or attaching it to an email or posting it to Facebook and leaking that data out of the organization. For that, we need a data loss prevention solution. So, how do we go about achieving that? Well, to start with, we ask three simple questions. What data is sensitive to your organization? Where should it reside? And who should have access to that data? Armed with the answers to those three questions, we then adopt this straightforward methodology to deploy DLP to deliver some real value to your organization. We begin by discovering where the data is. That way, we ascertain the risk to your organization of data loss. We monitor that data when it's in use within the organization. We can then educate users who might be using the data inappropriately, and only then, if necessary, enforce security controls to block those emails or prevent that transfer of information to USB sticks. Now, whenever you talk about DLP solutions, you'll hear these three terms bandied around quite commonly. Data at rest, which means data sitting on file shares in databases or on users' workstations. Data in motion, which means data traversing the network in emails or when browsing the web. And data in use, which means users actually manipulating that data on their workstations. Now, RSA Security has a comprehensive solution which addresses all of these use cases. For data at rest, the data center component is able to identify data, determine whether it's sensitive or not, data sitting on file shares or even on users' workstations. For data in motion, the network component is able to integrate with your mail server, your web proxies via ICAP, or act as a sensor on the network so that we can see data that's in emails or being posted via webmail or even copied via file transfer. And for data in use, the endpoint solution is able to see data being used by users on their workstations regardless of whether they're connected to the corporate network and monitor and enforce security controls. Now, all of these three components are managed by the RSA Enterprise Manager, so we can implement a consistent security policy across all of these usage vectors. And it's easy to implement. If we go back to our original organizational infrastructure, we'd start off by deploying the Enterprise Manager on our internal network. We'd use the data center component, which acts as an agent to monitor the data on our file servers and databases. So that would scan the data that's out there. We'd deploy the network component as a mail relay that would scan all mail that's passing in and out of our organization. and as an ICAP solution to talk to our proxy server so we could see mail that was going in and out of the organization via webmail. And then finally, we could deploy the endpoint solution so that we can see what users are actually doing on their workstations, whether they're in the office or outside. So DLP isn't difficult. In fact, it's as easy as RSA. Thank you.